with Courtney and John Heller from True North Jerky. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good, Terrace.
Thanks.
Good. We're going to be talking about grocers and their connection to the community. Right off the bat, I just want to tell everybody where you guys are at. You're right on the corner of Fletcher and Old US 12 and I-94. What is that exit number?
162.
Nailed it. I couldn't remember. 162. And you guys are, why don't you start by just telling people a little bit about your shop and what you offer and how long you've been there?
Sure. John and I bought True North 2 years ago, and originally a jerky shop, and we have expanded it to include handmade sausages, both fresh and smoked. We also are a smokehouse, so we have smoked fish, smoked ribs, smoked pork, lots of delicious things. We also have a lot of steaks and fish options, and we have Polish foods from Hamtramck, from Spodek.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're really famous and delicious. So
I buy the pierogies all the time from you guys.
Yeah, the pierogies and some specialty cheeses from Jim's Cheese out of Wisconsin, as well as cheese curds, some hot sauces, a little bit of some oddities that we enjoy. So there's also salsa and hummus that we really like and have here at the house, and so we have it in the store as well. So
that's awesome. Mm-hmm. That's great. Well, that's a nice segue. I feel like we can kind of take that right into, you wanted to speak a little bit about purchasing supplies.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just been growing up in Chelsea and seeing kind of a lot of community items change. I remember a lot of the brick and mortar stores, whether it was, Winans as a jewelry store or even Schneider's as a grocery store, that they service the community from a sense of, I might not have this, but I do have these things. What are you trying to do? What can I bring in? And that's one of the areas that we're looking to grow and fill. I mean, we definitely do the jerky's our specialty, the processed meats, the snack sticks, the summer sausage, but being able to serve the community, as an example, I know some people were having a hard time finding yeast, and visited with Keegan at the bakery and was able to get some yeast and be able to bring that. And so those are the things that I see as just opportunities to be able to do in a brick and mortar that aren't quite the same that you can do without that kind of connection.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Keegan at Lake House is great. Yep. He's a great community member, and they do a lot of cool stuff out there. That's very nice. Yep, and that kind of brings us right into that human contact element, right? Like being able to go out, talk to other people in the community, find what you need, get it to them.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the side where we try to do the best. Right now, it's really difficult in terms of providing supply, one, and getting raw materials, two, and just being able to do both the production side and take care of customers out in front. I mean, we do make most of the product right there. So I think right now we have probably about 250 different active SKUs, different products that we're making. Mm-hmm. Some of them, the flavors aren't that much different, so I can make them the same day. Others, things are so different. And in a food safety world, making sure to take care of allergens or other issues, we can't make things the same day. So, it is hard to hit that need all the time and be able to stay in front of it, which is, why it's what do you need? Let me know. I'll take down your name and number, go ahead and put you on a list and let you know when we have it done. And that works out pretty good. It's kind of surprising that some people aren't so comfortable in doing that. So, we try and make it be more comfortable that they are able to do those type of things.
Yeah. I know. I think it's funny. We were joking about that before we got live here about just people will put their name into anything on their phone to find out what celebrity they look like, let them take their picture and all that stuff. But their local grocer, they have fears against giving you their number. So It is funny. I think it's important people try to think about that a little bit, put things in perspective, and keep in mind that, it's John and Courtney down here at True North. It's not some bot across the country. They can feel safe to, give you a little bit of information so that you can better serve them,
Yep.
So
and that's exactly it. I do have a couple of customers that like a specific kind of chicken, and I'm not able to get it all the time, but sometimes I am able to get those. A lot of people right now are really price conscious, and, beef prices, that's a side that this week is probably one of the highest price weeks that we're seeing on purchasing raw materials. I have a couple of suppliers that will sit there and say, hey, 40 years in the business, and I've never experienced prices this high. So I think we're going to need to move through this week and be patient with what we're seeing for supply and prices. And a lot of the plants, and we'll probably see it in different sectors of the food industry where, people are sick and supply is going to be either they're not going to be producing or they're going to have a limited amount of production. And we're going to see some price fluctuations, but it'll start leveling out. The one side to me is it's not like there isn't food in the store. It's just, like today somebody came in and was, oh man, you don't have any more bacon. I really wanted bacon. Well, yeah, you're right, but there's a whole bunch of other things that you can eat. So there is food around.
Got to get people out of their comfort zones.
Exactly. Right now, it's definitely a time for trying new things, asking for help or ideas on what to substitute. And,
that's where we say, I know budget and finance is one that's really tough, but, at the beginning of this, we even reached out to some resources and said, hey, if people are on tight times, are you a resource that we can come to help support and do some of those things? And so, we've even done some of those aspects as well of, if somebody really is at a point where they have a need and they're trying to make some of those decisions, they need to let us know. It's not a shame thing. It's, we're all trying to make it through this together. And the prices are getting pretty tough. But there are other options, and there are definitely resources around to help support people. I mean, even like the school lunch program and using that resource in Chelsea, it's been surprising how many people that we've talked to that are like, oh, I didn't really realize that was available, and trying to get them connected to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, how do you guys see brick and mortars balancing in the current market?
It's really tough. I mean, we do have to put in some extra time and energy into cleaning, and, you want to make sure that you're taking care of your own employees and whatever their needs are. And, talking to another meat processor, his comment was, we don't know if we're going to be open tomorrow. And we struggle with that same thing. If somebody's sick, same type of thing. We need to close, and we need to be making sure that everything is safe for people to come in and visit and be able to purchase. Really that's the first piece, is that safety aspect. And I spent 20 years in food safety before doing this, so it's not something I take lightly.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It still is.
That's what you want in your grocer, though, right? Somebody with that extra knowledge. Yeah, I mean, that's
exactly. Right. Yeah, and that's, I guess, the balancing part, like you're saying. I mean, there are times that brick and mortar certainly is more expensive. I know I buy a lot of things online because I can't find them in local stores. One of our employees, we were talking about things the other day, and she's like, I just want a simple toaster. I can't go anywhere and find a simple toaster. And, some of those things are tough because, sometimes we're not able to offer everything. You know, I have a lot of people ask for bone-in ribeyes, and just the way that we're set up, I don't have bone-in meat products. Most of my steaks are typically boneless. I do have some local beef that we're able to do as some bone-in. And, you know, right now with the price point being so high, we're going to be able to bring in some more local, which is really nice. But we've always been very sensitive to price for people.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I don't know. Every time I go in there, I feel like you've got a different selection rotating. And it's sort of like you said earlier, I miss that concept of having your grocer kind of help you figure out what you're going to cook. You know what I mean? Like that's exactly, I mean, we came in to buy some pierogies, and you ended up getting us the like little dumplings that Stradex makes, or the whatever, can't even remember what they're called. We haven't done anything with them yet, but we're going to, you know, and that's something that we would never have tried if we hadn't came in and hadn't sparked up a conversation with you. I think that's something that Chelsea's always really good about as a community is we do like our small businesses, and we like to have those conversations. You know, it's not like you're going to go into Meijer and you know, walk down the aisle and be like, oh, this thing, I don't know what that is. Let me go find somebody from Meijer to explain to me what this is and how I should cook it. You know, that's not going to happen. I'm not ripping on Meijer. Meijer's a great store.
Totally understand.
Company, but you know, you don't get that level of treatment that you do at a place like True North. So, you know, it's
you know, sometimes I might not be so talkative in the front, but that's usually because I'm trying to get something finished in the back. I mean, that's the reality of it.
Sure.
All of our employees, you know, they really do. That's one of the things that's nice as we bring people in for seasonal work or part-time work is the connection that they're able to make with the customers. And we've been really blessed with some employees that just love being able to give ideas and talk to the customers about their experiences, because you know, a lot of things in cooking, like you're talking about, you know, the dumplings, mentioning that, I mean, that was a total fluke for us to try it in soup, and it worked out great. It tastes great. You know, a lot of these things aren't necessarily something that you think's going to work, but you try it, and it's delicious.
It is. It's fun. I mean, that's, I don't know. I like that variety. I like the fact that it rotates. It reminds me more of the old-timey grocery stores and markets and butcher shops. You know, like you said, you don't have bacon. Well, yeah, but look at all these other options. What are you going to cook with it? What were you going to do with the bacon? Let's find something that's going to work for you, you know? So that's great. It's very cool.
Been a lot of talk about, you know, moving more to some local processors and not have the large processors. And, you know, what you just mentioned, in that old time, the reason why that would happen is, okay, I only slaughtered 4 hogs this week, and so I'm only going to be able to make this much bacon. So as people think about some of these distributed food networks and being able to do that, you really need to be comfortable with that concept of it won't really be ready because you just don't have the raw product. You know, one of the things that's great about the food system that we do have right now is there is so much of that raw product out there and available that you can get those things so much easier.
But we'll see how things move forward and things go more local. You might see more of a return to that, like, you know.
Which is great,
which is a lot of fun.
It is. It is really cool.
It really
I mean,
it really brings the community together.
Exactly. And I mean, just, I don't know, there's so much of that enjoyment in knowing that the food you're eating came from your community right down the road. I mean, you buy at the grocery store from Oscar Mayer, you don't know where that's coming from. I mean, you can look on the package and see where it was packaged, this, that, but I mean, it just, you know, you have no idea. But it's really nice when you're just like, oh, it's, you know, down the road. Like, I know little things, even in some of the bigger grocery stores and smaller ones and whatnot, I'll always see occasionally when it's crop season, potatoes from Do Russell's potato farm. I grew up in Manchester. My cousin lived right down the road from there. And it always just brings me so much joy to see that type of place is able to generate enough and sell on that scale, and it's spread out all over. And I'm not only eating food that didn't grow on the other side of the country, but I'm supporting a neighbor, you know, and that seems like you guys do a lot of that there. And I just think that's so special to have in town, you know? Yeah.
Trying to do those things. That's kind of the difficult balance again on that supply side of what really is available what people are asking for. Some of the products realistically aren't available. I did have a customer one time ask for chicken that it had no grain fed to them at all, and I even talked to some local farmers that do some specialty products, and they're like, yeah, no, we still end up giving grain. So, I mean,
Right.
some of that just isn't available, but a lot of times things are.
Yeah.
And that's one of the
Well, that's great.
We can find things for people.
Yep.
And we use our resources to find and connect people to the things that they need or want.
People just need to remember to ask you.
Exactly. And leave their phone number.
Yeah, and leave your phone number. And be willing to leave your phone number. Exactly. And to that note, I did just want to say we do have your Facebook and your website and your phone number up in the comments on the post here. And I'd just like to say, you guys people can go on your website and see stuff. They can call you to make orders. They can email you to get orders. All that information is available. A million different avenues to communicate with you. They can do curbside pickup if they don't want to come into the store, as long as they contact you ahead of time, obviously. So, you've really opened up a lot of platforms for people to be able to get your products and not have to go into a big store. I mean, a lot of people right now are nervous. I know I have friends and family that, genuinely don't want to walk into some of these bigger stores. It's just so many people and so much exposure. And obviously to have that option to right in your own community, acquire a good steak or some awesome pierogies from Stradix, and just have it brought right out to your car in the little strip mall there on Fletcher or on, Old US 12. That's fantastic. That's something that I know for a fact a lot of small communities don't have. And we're just blessed to have, something of your guys' caliber right here in Chelsea. And it's just awesome. So I want to say thank you from me, first off, and for my girlfriend, because we eat your guys' food all the time. And I know the rest of the community feels the same way. So it's just great to have you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and even after COVID, I mean, I foresee us continuing a lot of those services because we're seeing a little bit more, like you say, of some people putting together a weekly grocery list and, sending it in. And it really, it works out really nice for us. I can go ahead and set things off to the side. And if that continues after all of this, whenever that end actually is, that's just great. I mean, it works out fine for our business model.
That's awesome. I'm just reading a comment here real quick. Bob Pierce, local Chelsea legend, as some people know, says, this is a great store. In fact, my family from Western New York is hooked on their jerky. Kudos to the True North family. So apparently you've spread all the way across the country, as we were saying. So that's kind of funny.
We do ship. Courtney has set up a lot of the stuff that we do online. I will say, just as we experienced this morning, I mean, some of those things do change. If somebody does have a problem with shipping, that was one of the things we were working through this morning. Is USPS right now is who we use, but they're on a 14-day backlog with things going on. So I think it still is that we're trying to get product out to people. There needs to be a little bit of patience and more exploring some other avenues. We do ship both in the U.S. and we do have some military families that'll ask us to ship different places. We've always done work to support the military. Since jerky is something that can hold up really well in a lot of environments and not something some military people find very often. Sure. It's a great product that they'll end up having sent to them. So yeah, we try and get it out there as much as possible.
I don't think I've gone on a camping trip ever in my life without a huge stash of jerky. So yeah, you're definitely right about that.
Good staple.
So on that note, to close, I was wondering if we could get both of you to tell us your favorite type of jerky that you have in your store. I know that's probably hard because variety is king, but.
Mine is probably the sweet heat. It's a little sweet, a little spicy, just kind of the perfect mix.
Nice.
That's today. It'll change tomorrow.
It'll change tomorrow.
Yeah. Oddly enough, I'm probably going to say hickory chicken. a lot of people won't try the chicken jerky, but it picks up a lot of smoke and has a really good flavor. Just like our chicken hot dogs, a lot of people won't try those, but it's probably one of our better products in the store. And everybody that has them is just kind of like, wow, yeah. I didn't realize it would be that good. So, yeah.
I haven't tried the chicken hot dogs, but I'm right there with you with the chicken jerky. So apparently I need to get on board. Yeah, I love I think it's a honey barbecue or whatnot.
Yep.
Chicken jerky. I mean, it's crazy how good the chicken jerky is. It's I think for me it's the fact that it's not as chewy. You know, like you get all that flavor, all that smoke that you want, but you're not like gnawing through a piece of beef. So it's good stuff. Yeah, I'll have to come in and pick up some of the hot dogs. That sounds delicious.
Sure.
Well, thanks a bunch, guys, for joining us today. Did you have anything else you wanted to add before we go?
Just thank you. I mean, it's great, growing up in Chelsea and being part of the community. It's great to see these type of small business opportunities stay and continue to grow. I know we're just being outside Ann Arbor, there's a lot of people that really like some of that Ann Arbor feel, and Chelsea sometimes has a difficulty identifying with the community that we have, but it is such a great town to be able to grow up in and have all these experiences.
That's great. Yeah, I agree. How about you, Courtney? Anything? No worries. No,
caught her speechless. I love it.
You caught me off guard. Speechless, indeed. But really, I really want to thank all the people that are supporting the community. I've noticed that the chamber, you guys are doing so much to help the small businesses and some of the other marketing groups that we work with through downtown, and then the various people throughout the community that are just keeping track of who is open and making sure to notify and encourage people, help our businesses keep going during this crazy time. Thank you to everybody.
Yep, that's great. It has been really impressive. Obviously at the chamber we're doing as much as we can, but it really is the whole community. We've seen so many people just for no reason but to be helpful, creating these lists and passing along information and buying gift certificates and shopping local and ordering and doing curbside, everything they can. So you guys are both right on with that. It's a great community, and I'm so glad that we're all part of it. So all right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will be back next week on Wednesday, and we'll see you guys then. Thank you, Courtney and John, for stopping by.
You.
Everybody have a great rest of your day. We'll see you later.
Thanks. Take care, Terrace.
You too.